Hey, hi, how's it going? So today we're gonna be doing not an entire review of all of my like Lego Star Wars sets that I'm doing. I'm just gonna pick four. I've got like 4, 5 shells, and I'm just gonna pick one from each, and then we're gonna go over the set and the lore behind it. So that's what we're doing. First set, Imperial TIE Fighter right here. And this, I chose this because there's a good bit of lore to go into right here. So I'll show you the front, side profile, and the back right there. So this set came with a stormtrooper, a little droid right there. Probably shouldn't be gripping his head like that, but if you're a droid, you get your head gripped. And a little pilot inside. And his pistol just fell. That's fine. But anyway, some lore on the TIE Fighters. There's a video about why the Empire is not bad, right? And despite what you think, if the Empire is not bad or good, whatever, that's not the point. The guy who made the video, I think it might have been Eckhart Slatter, who makes some really good Star Wars videos. It might have been him, I forget. But one of the points made is that TIE Fighters are made to be defensive, right? If you look at Rebel X-Wings, I'll actually just show you that real quick. Rebel X-Wings, they've got 4 guns, right? And they make the shape of an X, you see? And they've got 4 guns, one here, one here, one here, and one there. So the argument that's made for TIE Fighters is that they're a defensive ship because they only have 2 guns right here on the bottom. 2 guns right here, and their side is blocked, right? They can't see the peripherals, they don't have a hyperdrive, and they're just not meant for like heavy combat, right? And TIE Fighters are the main air-to-air combat force, same as the X-Wings for the Rebellion. These are the main ones for the TIE Fighters, and they have this distinct sound. I'm not going to try to make it, I'll just play like an audio file so it sounds like this. There you go. But yeah, and that's one of the things, like if the Empire was this like tyrannical, oppressive, aggressive like faction, why would their main air-to-air combat unit be so not designed for like combat, you know? So that's that. Next one, we go back to the movie The Phantom Menace with Anakin's little speeder right here. So of course you got little kid Anakin, and in The Phantom Menace, the lore behind this one is that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are coming from Naboo, and the ship that they're in, the hyperdrive doesn't work, and there's a whole bunch of stuff with that, but whatever. Hyperdrive doesn't work, so they land on Tatooine. They meet Anakin, and they need money to buy a new hyperdrive, and Anakin has his speeder, and he's going to enter into a race where they can win the money to buy the hyperdrive in exchange for some other stuff. But as far as the speeder, this is side profile. You got your front, I guess a little like top down almost, right? And there's the back. So in the race, Anakin is discovered to be like a Jedi beforehand, which contributes to like how well he races as a child, because Jedi have like really fast reflexes, and yeah, because they gotta like deflect lasers and stuff with a lightsaber, so you need to have really good reflexes for that. But anyway, during the race, I believe it's Sebulba. I forget what his like species race is called, but he's like this like animalistic being thing. But I'm pretty sure he like bumps into Anakin or does something to Anakin's speeder, which causes one of these like turbine things on the side to like split off, right? And it's like detached, and it's swinging all around, and then Anakin, I believe, has to like crawl out of the cockpit while this thing is moving at like dangerous speeds. Like this is a speeder, and in speeders in like Star Wars, these things are moving, right? These things are moving. They're going well beyond like 65 miles per hour, right? On average, these things are probably moving at like 100, and that's comfortable. So yeah, Anakin has to get out. He's got to fix it. He does. Ends up winning the race. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan get that hyperdrive and get back to Coruscant, I believe. Next up, we go to the Galactic Republic. This is from the Clone Wars TV show, not the movies. What we have is an AAT, right? And you've got your little cockpit Let me. You got your cockpit. There's supposed to be a droid in there, but I took him out. Got that, and then there's a little space up top for like a droid commander to sit in there. You've got that, and then you've got an Ahsoka minifigure. Well, you're seeing it on your left, and then a 332nd clone trooper right here on the right. So this AAT is a separatist tank. It's like the main tank unit that the separatist droid army used, right? And there's nothing really too special about that. It's supposed to rival the ATTE, which I'm not going to show you now, but depending on how this video does, I will show it to you. And I got the new one with the 212 troopers. It looks beautiful. It looks awesome. But let's go over the minifigures really quick because these are the more important ones. So this is Ahsoka, and this isn't like a Jedi Ahsoka. This is Advisor Ahsoka. This is during the siege, well, the second siege of Mandalore, where the Galactic Republic sends sends the 501st Clone Legion, not the entire Clone Legion, but a detachment of that legion called the 332nd Company, under Commander Rex and Ahsoka. So this is the 332nd Company's like unique design. It's supposed to be modeled after like Ahsoka's whole like face, pretty much, with her like design too. And all the clones in the 332nd Company did their helmets in that unique design, and it's really cool. And we get to see Ahsoka because it's like such a long time after like Ahsoka leaves the Jedi Order because of all the stuff that happened when she was wrongly accused, and then they let her back in the Jedi Order, but then she was like, nah, y'all didn't believe me, I thought we were homies, all that. So she leaves, and then she comes back in season 7 to, you know, participate in the Siege of Mandalore, and that is really cool. And she got to meet up with Anakin and Rex again, and all the clones were like saluting her as she goes throughout like the hallways in the ship. And it just shows like that respect that they had for her, because like they were like that, you know, they were tight, and it was super cool to see that. So I'm glad Dave Filoni got the Clone Wars. I'm glad that he got the Bad Batch. I'm so like appreciative of what he's done with Star Wars, because you could have really messed that up. You could have really messed up the Clone Wars especially, but he did a great job. Anyway, the next set, this one's a little bit underwhelming, a little bit, but I'm picking one from each shelf. So not all of these are like sets that I got specifically because they were like I had to have them, right? Like the ATTE that I got, I had to have that. But this, I just wanted something, I want something from like a little bit of each era of Star Wars. So I got I got the speeder from Hoth. I've got stuff from I've got some like regular Rebellion troopers. I've got all sorts of stuff from the Clone Wars, the Empire, and yeah. So this speeder, at least as far as the movies, it was used in The Empire Strikes Back, and it takes place in the Battle of Hoth, and these are speeders, right? I'm pretty sure, I think in Battlefront 2, you can use these things in space. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I remember seeing some Star Wars something where these things were being used in space, and I'm pretty sure they can't because they're speeders and they're just not built for that. But yeah. So what these things would do, actually I have a little thing it goes with. Well, not goes with it. It didn't come in the same set, but these are AATs. They're a lot bigger. Like as far as the set, I have a big one, but I'm not trying to move that. But in like the movies, these things are gargantuous. Like they are giant. Okay, they're like taller than like 3 houses on top of each other. But how the combat would work on Hoth is these little speeders would have a string, not a string, but like a cable, like a really powerful cable. And to deter the AATs, they would attach a cable to like the leg, right? And they would fly around the AAT, wrapping it in that cable, and then it would trip, right? The legs would come forward, and then it would fall down, rendering it immobilized, and then tank down, right? So that was like the main like open field combat that happened on Hoth. There were like trenches, and eventually the Empire did overwhelm the rebellion, because the rebellion in the Battle of Hoth was in the middle of like an evacuation. So they were trying to leave, which actually, now that I think about it, everybody was leaving while the dudes fighting were just kind of like screwed, because there's no way, if everybody evacuates, that they're also gonna get out too. So kind of screwed up. Maybe they knew that and they were like, I'll just take one for the team, sure. But yeah, so that's that. One last thing, the in Battlefront 2, they put a gun, right? They put this like rear gun on the back of the TIE fighters, and I'm pretty sure it's just for like gameplay purposes, but I'm pretty sure TIE fighters, or at least normal ones, do not have like a rear gun on them, like as far as cannon goes. And again, like I said, I'm sure it was just like a gameplay edition, just to make sure you don't get shot in the back and you can't do anything about it. But yeah, that's these 4 sets. And if you guys like this video, not like actually like it, I mean you can, but if you guys like this video, then we'll keep moving on. Like I said, I've got ATTEs, ATTPs, I've got BARC speeders, I've got ATRTs. Y'all may not even know what I'm talking about, but like, hey, I've got Anakin's Phase 1 starfighter, Phase 2 starfighter. I got the Slave 1. Oh my goodness, yeah, I got like Grievous's ship. I forget what it's called. I keep forgetting what it's called. I've got like an Imperial shuttle. I have the scene where Vader and Luke are fighting on the Death Star. Got Y-wings, Resistance Y-wings, and a First Order TIE fighter. The Triangle of Doom, which, hey, if you want to see it, I'll be happy to talk Star Wars any day about any of these sets. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.